So today I've been in the boat all of the day today, except I actually went for a swim. I can't remember when I actually went for a swim in the ocean itself. Well, in Asia, of course, but up here, I can't remember. It's ages ago. Normally, I'd swim in lakes and things. There's a lot of jellyfish, so I had to. That was a fish getting a fly half a meter up into the air. So I had to figure out a route between the jellyfish. There's so many jellyfish here. I do think that the engine problem I had was a jellyfish. Like a slack water pump belt combined with pulling in a jellyfish at higher load than normal. I think that was made my motor boil. It's behaving very well while charging now. I guess tomorrow I'll run it under load. But I did take it from the middle of here where I lost cooling. And when I pulled back, immediately everything was fine, and I took it from the middle at low to medium load. No problem. I think I should be fine. I've gotten one of my two outboard engines mounted, tested. It works. I need to tighten the speed regulator stop a little, that's all. I've had... There was like a school class here. There's been a variation of people coming and going. And my cough. I realized that the obvious thing I need to get rid of. There's all of these mats and shit. Like this green synthetic thing that... Here it is. I mean, not only does it collect any kind of dust, but it disintegrates. So I've been breathing all sorts of dust. I've used some chlorine to actually scrub away some. There might have been some black mold here. That's very bad. But I've been getting rid of that using chlorine. I think it's quite fine now. I used a diesel heater at maximum around noon after doing that cleaning, so I got most of that chlorine baked out. It's quite nice here now. The problem is that... Yeah, here we go. Still haven't got any insurance. I see that Pantenius will give you an answer inside of a couple of days. Since I have I haven't had any kind of... Well, the only thing I've got in my home country for 10 years now soon is my old bank account, and then I got access to my Globalist bank account again. I don't want that, but it's a backup. So there's basically I have no footprint. So I'll try to do one of these international brokerages, but ultimately, if I end up not getting it insured, I'll just stay in spots like this. I'll be careful. I know how to handle myself at sea or along the coast. Taking it down here, it was interesting. Long stretches. There's all of the markings have changed. There's a new type of markings here, but they are easy to understand. Yeah, there's a seagull. The locals here tell me that in a couple of weeks there will be a lot of people coming. There's going to be some kind of speedboat festival. There's some cultural week thing. Someone told me that there's this larger islet out in the open here where people tend to gang up together. I had to move one day because of some music. I want to be left the F alone. So depending on the weather and depending on how I feel about the boat and insurance and these things, and also if I get some of the items that I moved from my van offloaded from the boat, I might want to try to stay at the rocks quite out in the open where people wouldn't normally spend the night or even the day. Like, I mean, there's a lot of I need some lines. I've got 2 anchors. I should be able to ride out some interesting, depending on the weather forecast, I should be able to stay in spots where people wouldn't normally stay, like I said, and maybe do some content on that. Ultimately, I regard this boat as just like disposable. Super worst case. It was cheap, but of course I don't want to lose it. It's great. I think I've been here more than 3 weeks, maybe soon it's a month. In a way, I'm barely getting started. So if I'm going to stay here for July, August, maybe half of September, maybe all of September, maybe even longer. Yeah, the one thing I need to do is to get into a better rhythm working online. The video part will kind of have to do its thing organically if it's gonna if something is gonna happen at all, because I need to build customers. I need to build these relationships that I've started. Here on the ground, I have Nepal to return to. I've got a lot of coding to do. Prototyping is done. I need to redo some of it. I need to involve people that I've wanted to involve in terms of, basic work. So there's a lot to do. All of today went towards cleaning and getting some tools up from the bilge, of course. There's always going to be some tools falling down. Fastening that water pump. Some tiny things falling apart, fixing them. There's always something falling apart. I guess this is the situation as of now. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep the boat in this fjord. Depends on the engine, but also the cost. I could take it to, if I do like around 10 hours, I'll be further towards the south and I'll be coming and going. I'll probably stay here for a couple of weeks, a week or 2 more. Get to know some people here so that they remember me if I come back, or if I need to get some ordinary jobs. And maybe I'll make it to almost to the south to find some similar spot so that I can save money on buses and things. I have my bikes and my electric bikes back in Oslo. That's gonna be a challenge to do that. You can't really rent ordinary cars any longer. The cost of one trip is just off the charts. It's annoying as well. So I'm looking at finding somewhere to leave this for a couple of nights. I don't want to do that, but I mean, I know this spot and people know that I'm at this spot. So if I saddle the if the boat is here and I'm suddenly not here, should be okay. There's another spot over here. If I get I should have a dinghy because I could leave it. There's this like really steep rock cliff. It's a safe spot. And also, no one would be able to get at it from land. I could find some other spot with, like the freaks that steal stuff, the degenerate people who just steal stuff because they can. Some place where those people wouldn't just be able to climb down. So I could probably get to Oslo, spend a night or two there with a friend who's storing the bikes for me, get the bikes, leave for morning to get the last things with the van done, get the bike on, actually get on a ferry with the bike, crossing the fjord, and maybe... It's an electric bike, so maybe I'll be able to take it all the way to the boat that way. This is all about the lifestyle I had, like the flexibility you used to have here. I've always had cars, beaters or classic cars. I've always been very good at getting a lot out of my money, but now it's close to impossible. It's just... Not only is the cost prohibitive, but all of the gotchas, all of the automated systems, all that you can get works better than before. But everything is predicated on being a good slave, basically. Which is why you can get so much when you just bypass all of it, like I'm doing now. And people understand that, people respect that. There's a lot of people who, I'm just tired. I'm not even pretending to fit in any longer. I think that's okay. I think that's okay because when you know what to say, not to say, when you know how to regulate yourself up against whoever you meet, there are some brackets now. Let's put it this way. There are some brackets now that you can put yourself in that people will accept, that are not necessarily negative. Because everyone knows that there are aspects to the systems that doesn't work now. Everyone have heard some stories. So yeah, I think that's what I'm kind of doing in terms of the social game. Because there's always a game. Well, except when you have like really good friends and things like, which I found in Nepal again. I found a scene where you're allowed to be yourself. That's really not the case here any longer. And it's also not the case in like big cities in Asia that is a lot about money and power and anyway. Nature works. Nature works on me. It works for itself, on its, like with itself. I think it is very valuable to see oneself as part of nature, as someone who knows how to deal with things, someone who knows how to just behave in the world, even when it's going batshit insane with technology and surveillance and AI and everyone being psyoped and faked out. People are getting faked out. I said, I like that. I should put that on a t-shirt. I invented that now, I think. Maybe I heard it somewhere, but no, I don't think so. So, the people who come here, hanging around on this tiny, there's a microscopic beach here actually, but the people who hang around on those things, I mean, they come here for nature. They come here to get away from even this tiny city they live in. More like a village. Well, it was the right thing to buy, I suppose. Will it be the right thing even if my head gasket is blown and I end up having a nightmare here for days or weeks? Somehow getting it going on a low budget again. I think so. If that happens, I'll definitely turn that into content. Yeah, that's it. Good luck.